how do you visually show like loving the Lord your God with all your heart or all of your mind? You know, like there has to be an abstract, more conceptual way to visualize that. You know, maybe it's just shape, maybe it's pattern. That is something that like has to be worked out as we're building the design.
To be Thai is to be Buddhist. 88% of Thai villages have no Christian presence.
Thai people are on Facebook 3 times more than any other nation in the world. So what better platform to get the good news out across Thailand than through this animation series?
So designing the scenes feels like it should be just a quick and easy, simple part of the process because it's basically just sketches, but it's not that simple. The whole process includes sketching, refining, testing, refining some more, reworking things. The goal of design is to take concepts and ideas and really the message that we're trying to communicate and making it visual. I consider the design to be essentially like a blueprint for the illustrator. So they're taking those sketches and using that to build the final scenes.
The most important thing about animation design is connecting the audience to a story and to the characters of that story emotionally.
When it comes to the design phase for animation or telling a story, what we're trying to do is to create a universe, to create a world. We bring a set of elements to play with, and that is color, lines, texture, shape. And with that, we're trying to look for the audience and we're trying to connect with them.
Yeah, because there's an element too of fitting within our own constraints. For example, we're not animating the characters in a way where we see lots of movement there. It's very simple movement. And so when the script is telling, you know, the story of how maybe Adam and Eve are gathering leaves and then going and hiding, we're not showing all of that movement. Design is a way where we can kind of creatively show that progression in the story.
Each story has different design problems and need different design solutions. A romance won't have the same visual language necessarily as a dramatic piece or a documentary. So the more you know about story, the better your design is going to be.
The designs are then used to create an animatic. And in the same way that the designs are a blueprint for the illustrators, the animatic is a blueprint for the animators. Will it stand? Is it functionally going to work? That's where animatics are helpful, because it's like, okay, let's test this out. That takes like putting a little movement and timing it out and spacing it just to make sure that everything really is going to flow. That's usually the phase where sometimes I stick all the designs in the animatic, string it all together, and it's like, okay, you know, things time out pretty well, this is working. And sometimes it's like, oh, there's like a gap here where this scene is on for way too long, that's not gonna be interesting, like we need to fill something in here. The animatic also includes final voiceover and spacing, and this is really important and helpful for our composer, Grant, as he prepares to work on the music. So there's several different things that come pretty soon after creating the designs, and one of those things is getting feedback from our partners to make sure that we're going in a good direction and there's nothing that might be confusing or culturally offensive.
Working on cultural stories, which I've done throughout my career, also provide a different challenge in that different cultures see the world in a different way. Certain colors have different meanings to different people. And, you know, if your audience is older, they may respond to different visual cues than someone that's, you know, a kid, right? So all of those things go into the design to try to make that connection as strong as possible.
The ultimate reach is that the audience gets to a point of, aha, I understand this. I feel this. I relate with this. And that's why we design.